All right, I'm having a hot flash, but you know what? It's okay. We'll get through this. All right, we're just gonna go for it. Hi everyone, I'm Danielle. Welcome to the channel. If you haven't already done so, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's get started. So the last time I was on this channel, I was still in the trenches with chemotherapy infusions. I was getting weekly chemo. My regimen was paclitaxel, Herceptin, and Perjeta. So paclitaxel I would get every 3 weeks, but Herceptin and Perjeta I got every week. And I was doing low dose chemotherapy for that time. I did 24 infusions total. I rang the bell on February 7th, 2025. And when I rang the bell, that was just indicating that I was finished with chemotherapy infusions. I still have cancer, but I'm still working towards getting it out of my body, but we were just moving on to the next treatment. So after February 7th, I moved on to doing immunotherapy every 3 weeks, Herceptin and Perjeta. So I go into the cancer center every 3 weeks for immunotherapy infusions. At home, I take a drug called Ibrance. I take Ibrance every day for 3 weeks, and then I have a week off, and then start it all again. I take another pill called letrozole. I take that every single day. I take another pill called doxycycline every day for my skin because Ibrance is in the chemo drug family, so it still gives me the skin breakouts that paclitaxel, the chemo drug that I had infused in through my port, it still gives me skin breakouts. So I'm on doxycycline to avoid any breakouts. And as you can see, my skin is doing pretty well. I don't have any foundation on right now, like no foundation. And so if you were to see me before, like when I was bald, I broke out everywhere. I broke out in my ears, my scalp, my whole face was covered. I looked like a Dalmatian. It was wild, but doxycycline helps with that. So I take doxycycline every day. I just started taking trazodone. It's either called trazodone or trazodone. It's for my inability to sleep. The night sweats, I get hot flashes and night sweats. The night sweats are what keep me awake at night. I struggle to sleep consistently without interruption. And so I just started taking that maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. And so far things have improved a little bit. I spent the majority of 2025 in physical therapy for my leg. I developed lymphedema. I have cancer in my hip and femur bones still. I had radiation on my lower body left side. It was palliative radiation, but I developed skin fibrosis and lymphedema. So the skin fibrosis is in my lower belly. So like my lower abdominal area is just my left side. It's hard for me to do things like putting on my shoes or tying my shoes or putting on socks. I can do it, but it's just much harder. And so something I'm still working through and working with, and it's just a part of the process now. But I am grateful to be done with chemotherapy infusions because that was hard. Emotionally, I'm in a better space than I was even say a year ago. Honestly, even 6 months ago. Especially like last fall, I kept getting sick. I just kept getting like catching the flu or a bug or any kind of sickness. I just kept catching it. So I spent September, October, November, and December, I kept getting sick. It had an impact on my mental health. I'm constantly getting sick on top of having cancer. When it comes to this channel, I have to be very careful about how much I share because I do think there's a gross amount of misinformation when it comes to cancer on the internet. And so if I can be a source of encouragement or support for somebody else who's going through what I'm going through, I'm happy to do that. However, I'm not going to really lean into like saying, oh, well, this feeds cancer or this doesn't feed cancer and you need to do this because I don't know. I'm not a professional. I can read and learn and show you what I've learned and what I've read, but I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm some cancer influencer. That's just not my vibes. It's not I'm not even going to sit here and act like I'm a wellness influencer. That's not what I started this channel to be. I've started this channel as a source of inspiration regarding the things that I love to do. What are the things that I love to do? I love to watch great TV. I love to read really good books. I like to do DIY projects. I like to do puzzles. I like to cook. So some of the things you'll see on this channel, some of the things I may not feel like doing anymore, but I will do my best to offer my experience when it comes to getting through chemo, getting through radiation, my experience in radiation. So May 20th, 2024 was the day I found out that I more than likely had cancer. That was when I had my mammogram. In the weeks and months that followed, I found out it was already stage 4. So I treat May 20th as the cancerversary. So we are now in 2026. May 20th, I celebrated 2 years in this fight and still being here. And I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful. It's a mix of gratitude and grief, because I'm not going to sit here in front. Like, this is the hardest thing I've ever gone through. Undeniably, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to endure. And it's not just because of the cancer. I think it's compounded. There's a lot of things that play into what has continued to make this journey so hard for me. I even feel myself wanting to cry, and I'm like, no. Watching people that you followed who have gone through this journey and watching them pass has been difficult. Being extremely let down by people that you've trusted, that's been a really tough part of the process. I go back and forth because there are times when I'm like, okay, how much more of this can I take? And I'm not even on the end of it where it's like everything's working out. My scans are great. I just had my 6-month scans. When you see progression, that means the cancer is spreading. I don't have any progression, so that's a really good thing. I'm really grateful for that, and I don't take that for granted. There have been a number of things that have been really instrumental in me getting through it. Number one, music. I practice the piano almost every day. I love playing the piano. I think there's something about practicing that kind of takes my mind off of things. And so, especially when I'm mentally preparing to go into treatment the next day, it can be really calming for me to practice a little longer. So I practice the piano. I have a range of pieces that I've learned. I'll probably share a couple of them here. In addition to the piano, I've loved doing puzzles. I've loved building Legos. I love the Lego botanicals. Those are a lot of fun. I've loved reading. And I've loved TV. So for a good portion of 2024 and 2025, I just always had Scandal playing in the background. It was just one of those shows, like the dialogue, it's so dialogue heavy that it keeps you engaged in a way that forced me to think about something else other than cancer, honestly. But then after a while, you just get tired of it. And so I moved on to Bridgerton. And Bridgerton is not dialogue heavy, but I was in a headspace where I could handle that. I could handle the pace being slower. And that just, I think, is attributed to me just mentally adjusting to the rigor and the emotional side of cancer. So Bridgerton, I would say look out for a couple of videos, honestly, because Bridgerton is my jam right now. I love playing it. I love seeing all the beautiful dresses, and just, I love, Bridgerton is my jam. And way more now than it was before. Like, before I would see it and be like, okay. By the time season 4 came around, I was so looking forward to season 4 when it came out. And I've loved it. I'm a huge fan of Shonda Rhimes. times. I am. I think whatever she touches turns to gold. It tends to be the case. And so I'll talk about that. I have my theories on who Lady Whistledown is, and so I will do a video just dedicated to that, so look out for that. And I think in addition to that, also spending time with my friends. Once I finally got to a place where I wasn't sick all the time, I started to get out more and see friends. And I turned 40 this year. I turned 40 on April 2nd. And even though that day of, my stomach was just in knots from Ibrance, and so I ended up canceling or rescheduling my spa day, and I still got to enjoy it. That was wonderful, and I'm very grateful to see 40 years of life. Thank you, God, especially with everything I'm going through. I'm grateful for that. But my friends, oh, they threw me brunch. They took me out to brunch. They just really showered me. Yeah, a lot of physical changes have made it harder for me to want to be outside, but my friends really created safe space for me to just go at my own pace and feel comfortable. If I needed help getting in and or out of a car or up the stairs, or if I was sweating, they never made me feel uncomfortable. And I think having that around me made it easier for me to start getting outside more and going places, even just on my own. So I'm really, really grateful for that growth, because I spent a lot of 2024 and 2025 by myself. I did. It took a while. Chemo ended February 2025. I didn't really start really being outside for real until March 2026. So it took a while. I needed that time for me, and my friends have been amazing in supporting me and helping me feel better. My hair's growing back, so this is a different look for me. If you look at my channel before, I had long hair. I'm grateful to have hair that's coming back in, and my curls are fun. I pierced my ears. Well, got it done professionally, so that's fun. I have an ever-growing earring collection, so that I'm grateful to be back on the channel, and happy to show up above ground. Because whew, it could be a different way. It could have gone a different way. So thank you so much. If you're here and you are looking forward to more from me, thank you so much for hanging around. And if you're new here, welcome. I hope that you enjoy the channel and we can become friends online. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next week.